some might have argued I did last season, but we'll see. Time will tell on that one. You just got to stay tuned to find out. That's the fun part of it.
It's coming at 5:25, so don't miss it. We'll also have special guests today joining us in studio. Mark Godich, who is the author of Tigers versus Jayhawks, from the Civil War to the battle for number one. What better week to have a guy like that on, with how deep he went into the Mizzou-Kansas rivalry, the background behind it all, and leading up to that 2007 game at Arrowhead, where the book really dives deep into everything that went on there in the lead up and the aftermath and everything in between. So he's going to join us at 4:25 to talk about this week and, of course, the perspective on the Mizzou-Kansas rivalry. It'll be great to chat with him coming up at 4:25. You can call or text us at 875-KTGR. You can also tweet us at KTGR Big Show, and find us on Facebook as well, facebook.com/KTGR Big Show.
Now the Big Show's Big Deal.
Another reminder, this one from Laird Beach today. Be sure to enter in on the correct side of the stadium. If you don't, they won't let you in. That was essentially the message today from Laird Beach, Mizzou Athletics Director. Wherever side your seats are located on, enter through that gate. If you're on the south end zone, that's where your seats are. You can enter through either gate. It actually won't matter for you. But if you're on the east side, enter on the east side gate. If you're on the west side, enter on one of the gates on the west side. Pretty simple. But, again, be sure to remember that Saturday as the Tigers get set to take on the Kansas Jayhawks with a 2:30 kickoff from another sold-out Memorial Stadium. We'll bring you coverage starting at 11:30 with the Yuengling Tiger Game Day show, so don't miss that as we get even closer to this long-awaited rivalry game. That's the Big Show's Big Deal on this 4th day of September 2025. Call or text us here at 875-KTGR here on the Big Show if you want to weigh in on some over-unders where we finally get to put some down for this game, less than 48 hours away. So where do we start with the over-under side of it? I mean, over-under 2.5 times Mr. Brightside gets played.
Ooh, interesting. I'll take the under. I think it gets played one time. I think it gets played in its normal slot, and that everybody is looking forward to and anticipating that moment. Between the third and fourth quarter is typically where they do it these days. I think they'll keep it there. And I kind of hope they do. I kind of hope it's that anticipation building up through 3 quarters.
You don't think they'll at least, give them a little bit of a early taste of it before the game?
Yeah, maybe. You could do it. You could maybe have a pregame version.
After they win, they could do it, That could be possible.
That's true. So,
don't rush the field. You don't need to rush the field for this game.
Don't rush the field.
Yeah.
Let's beat Kansas, but we're supposed to. I mean, that's the goal here. Yeah, I mean, you could play it again after the game ends if it's a win, but I would still say under 2.5 if that's the line.
Okay. All right. I think I would take under as well. Like 1.5 maybe is a better place to set it.
Here, I'll set the same number this way. Over under 1.5 fans in attendance singing "Beat KU" instead of the other thing, because they'll probably put "Beat KU" up on the screen like they do every. They used to pipe in the sound for that, and we all said, "Please don't do that ever again."
It was so offbeat. It was not a great look.
I hope they don't. I hope they don't bother. Reverting back to that. I think you lean all the way in this time. But is there anybody that's going to be saying "Beat KU," or will they be going?
Oh, there will be at least
direction?
a couple. It's people with small kids. I mean, everything there. They'll at least have.
My kid's gonna go. What are they saying, Dad? What's going on?
Well,
it's just can't avoid it. Can't avoid it. I mean, there's no set of headphones in the world.
Every parent has to have for their kids at some point. Like it's tolerated. What doesn't?
There's no set of headphones in the world strong enough to make sure the noise doesn't penetrate it this time around. I think it's honestly going to be so loud it's going to scare them. That's it. Forget what they're saying. How they're saying it is going to. Like, it's okay, bud. It's okay. This is a way of life around here. You'll understand. It'll be good.
875-KTGR if you want to give us your over-unders for the Mizzou-Kansas game here. I will set the line for Bo Prabula total touchdowns at 2.5.
Interesting.
I don't know what it actually
Could run
is.
one
If
in,
there's
throw.
actually one out there for it, I don't know. But that's where I feel.
His anytime, according to unnamedsportsbook.com, his anytime touchdowns are right about dead even, -115. So that's a pretty standard line on whether or not he will run one
right?
in.
That's a running. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And so as far as I don't see anything specific at this moment for passing touchdowns, that'll all start coming up in the next day or so. I would say 1.5 is a pretty standard line for that. So 2.5 overall feels pretty fair. Golly, I hope it's over. I hope he gets over, because I think Kansas is going to put up some points in this game, Andy. I mean, the total is in the low 50s. Earlier in the week, I think it was maybe a little higher. It's come down, but both sides are going to put up some points if I had my best guess at it. So I'm going to say over 2.5. Probably throws for a couple, maybe runs for one. They don't need that. Like if Hardy scores 2 or 3 times,
that's what
you can win without Bo doing it. But that's the part I don't know how that's going to break down. They got to put the ball in the end zone, though. I mean, the red zone stuff is going to be so key. You can't settle for 3 or the hope of 3 when it comes to the freshman kicker Robert Meyer. We don't know what he's going to bring to the table. Drink has full confidence in him. He has to say that, but there is that element of the unknown. I think you want to be punching it in when you get close.
See, I'll say under. Doesn't necessarily mean he'll have a bad game, but I think the nature of the game could lend Mizzou just needing to get the ground game going, and that's going to funnel more through Ahmad Hardy, Jamal Roberts, whoever is taking the bulk of the carry is most likely going to be Hardy. But it's just that should be how Mizzou is punching in most of their touchdowns, I think, when it comes to that.
I don't know that it's going to be, though. I think it is going to be more on Bo. What Mizzou will want to do is run the ball. I don't think they're going to be overly successful right away running the ball. Like, we haven't seen Kansas against marquee competition yet, but we haven't seen Missouri against it either. They've been pretty good, though, in the 2 games that the Jayhawks have played against the run. I feel like it's going to be one of those starts to the game where you start trying to pound the rock, you get into some 3rd and 7s because you haven't really been moving the pile quite enough. And that's going to put things on the arm of the quarterback a little bit more than I think we're comfortable with early. It doesn't mean that as the game goes along, you don't find more running lanes for Ahmad Hardy, but I don't know that it's going to be, especially as you get into the short areas of the red zone. I think it might have to be Bo making some magic happen. It's going to be a game about the 2 quarterbacks, in my opinion. I'd love for this to come on here Monday and be talking about Ahmad Hardy's great game and him being the reason that the Tigers got the win. I'm skeptical if we're going to see that against a Kansas defensive front that does seem to be relatively stout in their own right.
Call or text us here, 875-KTGR, if you have an over-under that you want us to weigh in on here. You got one, Brenden?
I normally like to rely upon the unnamed sports books to get these answers, but it's been challenging to find a lot of Mizzou stuff. Thursday is usually when a lot of that goes up to where you find a jurisdiction of legality. You can begin placing those wagers. Let me see if this other one has anything good. We got some more stuff on this site. 65.5 is the over-under on Ahmad Hardy rushing yards. You talked about needing to establish it. I think that is to Missouri's benefit if they can do so. Can they do so to the tune of 65.5 rush yards for Ahmad Hardy?
They can.
Will they? Over under.
They almost need to, I think, in order to win.
I agree.
Like that,
I feel like if he's not getting 66 yards on the ground, we might have a problem unless Bo just played the game of his life, which,
or Jamal Roberts did. Maybe they give him the opportunities, who knows? But I would say that Hardy is the runner that you want to be showcasing a little bit more in a game like this. And so
he needs to be out there.
It just feels, barring injury, that he's the guy that needs to carry the load. So I would say that sounds a little low to me. I'll say over on that number.
Roberts has the trust of the coaching staff. He's a reliable player out there. He can be solid in pass protection. I think if you're 3rd down and more than 5 or 6 yards, you'll probably see Roberts out there a decent amount in those situations. In the early downs where you may be handing the football off, I would prefer it to be Hardy because I think he's the guy that can hit a home run. I don't know if Jamal Roberts is going to hit you a homer, but I think you could. The more cracks at it that Ahmad Hardy gets, the more he can. He's a physical runner, Andy. He can wear down the defense. So I'm going to say over 65.5 unnamedsportsbook.com line for his rushing yards. I'm also going to take the over on Prbula's, which is where would you guess the rushing yardage would be on Bo for this game?
Well, they had it low in the last game, didn't they? It was around like the 20s, wasn't it?
Hard to gauge it from that one, which you knew was going to be, we thought was going to be only a part-time appearance for him, and then Sam Horn got injured.
That's fair.
But this is Kansas has stopped the run well in 2 games, but that doesn't mean that Missouri's going to go away from its bread and butter.
Right.
And Bo getting outside the pocket and potentially taking off is part of that. What would your guess be for the over-under?
29.5.
39.5. So not terribly far off. A little higher, though, and I'm still going to go over the number. I think 40, 50 rushing yards for Bo. I do recognize that sacks count against you in college. So if you're actually thinking about hitting up a jurisdiction of legality for these, understand that is part of the wager. But I think kind of like we saw him break a big one for a touchdown. He won't do that. He won't find that level of running lane like he did against Central Arkansas, where he scampered for 33 yards or whatever it was and scored. But there will be, it's 3rd and 8, and he's running around. He gets you 11. I think that's going to happen a few times. He's gonna save their bacon enough to get over that rushing total.
Call or text us 875-KTGR. Daniel says over under. They play Mr. Brightside 5 times. At the basketball game, it was at least 5 times.
Really? I don't want it. Maybe I'm crazy.
I don't think it was 5 times at the basketball game. Like the one they won this past year, I think it was probably 3. I will say, though, Landon texted in, pointed this out to us, that Mizzou tweeted out their game day timeline. They do this pretty much after or before every game, like when's Tiger Walk, when is
was this athletics or football?
This is Mizzou Athletics that tweeted this out. Either one, but it's essentially saying, like, here's when Marty and McGee starts. Here's SEC Nation, the fan zone. Here's when gates open. There's a note on there. It says, welcome KU, with a musical note next to it, 2:00.
Okay. All right. So it's going to be a little pregame and then I think it's normal spot.
Right. And then maybe one if they win.
So you could be hitting the over on this, Andy. I might even change my answer, because I hope what they do is the pregame spot, which, remember, maybe was it 4 years ago at this time when we covered Mizzou, Kansas, the first time it happened in Columbia. I remember taking that video. It was an empty arena other than the students who were there. Student section was full, and they played it as Kansas began to warm up. And it was so crazy to pan to the rest of the arena that was just kind of still filing in, but it was as loud as if it was a full building. That's kind of what I think 2:00 is, which is why, again, you want to get there early if you want to be able to experience and enjoy that. But the one to me that is going to be everybody in their seats ready to rock and roll, that's going to be, 5:30 or whatever, 4:45, whatever it's going to be. That's the one that I am looking forward to the most.
That'll be electric. So I'd say it looks like at least a couple times it's going to be played.
Yeah.
Maybe a 3rd time if Mizzou gets that victory. But call or text us at 875-KTGR with over-unders that you want to see or you want us to weigh in on for this game between Mizzou and Kansas. Any other interesting ones that you see there, Brenden? Again, there's not much, I'm sure, to pick from, but they probably have some out there that are interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would be remiss if we didn't look to the other side. Jalen Daniels, let's start with his rushing, which is right at what you had guessed Prbula's would be. 29.5 is all they are ticketing for Jalen Daniels on the ground.
Actually, thinking about that, I understand it a little more, but
yeah. What's your premise with that?
Well, he's become a better passer as he has.
He's a good passer.
And that's improved and become more of a part of his game as he has gotten more experienced. And I think it's maybe what Kansas has asked him to do a little bit more. There was a year where he had to miss because of injury, right? Like almost full season.
That's why 23, he hardly played. He played in 3 games that year.
So, preserving him, he's a little smarter about when he would want to take off and run. I'll say it is an attainable number still for a guy like him. I'll say it's slightly over that number.
I think he's going to smash it, if I may. Yeah. That's against Fresno, which is the only other real FBS opponent they've played. He went 8 carries for 47 yards. Last year, he cleared it 7 times, so a little bit more than half. And that's just not a very big number for, I think Mizzou's going to have a good plan. I think Corey Batoon's defense is going to have a good plan for what they want to do and what they want to make Jalen Daniels do. But inevitably, there's going to be a couple times where he's able to escape. And so 30 rushing yards feels like a number he gets. I think it'll be over when it comes to his rushing allotment. And you mentioned it, Andy, passing wise, he's improved in that regard. These lines are giving a lot of credit, I feel, to the Mizzou defense. 195.5 is all they've ticketed for Jalen Daniels through the air.
I think about the under a little bit.
That one's closer for me. Last season, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games that he cleared 200 passing yards. Looks like
you maybe take over because your path to winning in this game starts with stopping the run, and that would mean go under on Jalen Daniels' rushing total, go under on everybody else's rushing total. Make them throw over the top on you. If they do, great. But even if they do a couple of times, I think it's still something that you can withstand if you're able to throw them off schedule every so often by stopping the run and wreaking havoc in the backfield. So I would say that I'll change my answer, actually. I'll say it's over on Jalen Daniels passing, under on his rushing.
Are you taking under on senior running back Daniel Highshaw Jr., whose number for rushing yardage is at 59.5, a number that he has cleared in both games this season? He's averaging 5.9 yards per carry through 2 games.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. That'll be tougher to keep under.
If Jalen goes under, it's because this guy went over, I think. They're going to want to run their running back, and if they don't have success, the pivot becomes, how can we just lean on Jalen Daniels? Okay. And that's where you can hope to get him to throw some picks.
So maybe that's what Mizzou hopes. It's more important to get the under on the running backs total than it is Jalen Daniels.
It might be, because then you can at least say, you know what, no matter what happens, Jalen Daniels is going to have the football in his hand. Like if we show that they're not really getting anywhere with the running back, then you can at least say, all right, we know what's coming. It's going to be this guy. We just have to figure out how he's going to try to beat us. But I think that's the progression necessary to take him out of his element a little bit and get him some happy feet. And then you can potentially talk about turning them over, which I think is going to be necessary to win this game. Turnover margin, I'm going to say better or worse, over under a plus 0.5 for Mizzou, which is the same as asking whether they win the turnover margin.
Then you'd say the other side, if it's even or if Kansas wins it.
Yeah, even would still count as under on this one.
I'll say under because I think it'll be even.
Even. I think Mizzou gets one. And it could be they get a couple and Kansas gets one. If Kansas gets one early, that's where you do start to feel a little bit uneasy about this game.
Yeah.
I don't have reason to believe that's going to happen, but fluky stuff does take place. And Mizzou has to not go out there trying to avoid turning it over. They have to go out there and play their game, but play it within themselves. Don't put the ball in harm's way. And the O-line has got to avoid those early hits where guys are getting free runs at Bo Prabula, because when that happens is when you can have a strip sack, fumble, those sorts of things. So keep the ball off the turf, but I'm gonna go with the positive mentality that Mizzou does win the turnover margin. So I will say over a plus 0.5 in that regard.
All right. Call or text us with your over-under options. 875-5847, a call or text us. The only other thing I'll weigh in on is that if there is a line that you set on Mizzou's sacks in this game, Mizzou's defense getting sacks, I will say under, because I don't think you try to essentially go aggressively for sacks in a game like this, because you do not want Jalen Daniels to leak out. It might just be better off for the sake of your defensive structure to stay disciplined in your rush lanes. You don't let him outside the pocket. And even if you're not getting home on Jalen Daniels, you're at least forcing him into a tough throw, a throwaway, some sort of incompletion that in this game I think is as good as a sack. When they're just resetting at the line that they started at, I say for a game like this, Mizzou's sake, for trying to win this game and trying to hold Kansas's offense at bay for as long as possible, incompletions are as good as sacks for me. So I don't think they go as aggressively for them. So if you set it at like even 1.5, I'll say under. Maybe they get 1, but I will say that they shouldn't necessarily go for the big play in that sense.
Don't sell out and then get beat because a receiver got loose because the secondary started to get their own happy feet trying to creep up and make a play on the quarterback. There's nothing worse than that. I agree with you. I'd say it'll be under, but I do think there will come a moment in time where they need 1 and they get 1. So if it's 1.5, I'll say under, but I do think they can get home 1 time. And look, that is where, we saw like the Jackson Arnold play comes to mind where the quarterback can give up the football that way as well. And that can be a game-changing thing. You just have to be smart about when you're selling out for that and when it's just contain, close in, and then make him make a decision under duress.
Call or text us if you've got over-unders that you want us to weigh in on. We'll have some for Chiefs-Chargers coming up at 5:05. Number to call us is 875-KTGR. You can also comment on our YouTube channel. We're live there. You can like, comment, also subscribe so you can be ready for future shows that we'll have on YouTube. So go and check that out at KTGR Sports as well. Special guest joining us next. He's in town this week, so we were lucky enough to get him in studio to chat with us. Mark Godich, the author of Tigers versus Jayhawks, From the Civil War to the Battle for Number One, dives deep into that excellent game that Mizzou played against Kansas in 2007, really the peak of this football rivalry. And he dives deep into that book. He'll tell us a little bit about the context of this week, how different the rivalry may feel now, as Mark Godich joins us next on The Big Show, KTGR.
Miss the latest edition of The Big Show? Catch up on demand with a full show podcast on the KTGR app. Download it now, wherever you get your apps.
Hey, Andy and Brenden here with Underdog Fantasy. Football is back, and tonight the NFL is back with Cowboys, Eagles, and Underdog is the place to select entries and win money all season long. And the best part is you can play right now in Missouri. Andy, you have any fun for Thursday night that you're looking at?
Yeah, I'll tell you what my entry looks like right now. I told you earlier this week I liked A.J. Brown's higher on receiving yards. You've talked, Brenden, about using the gimme pick that Underdog gives you every so often. There's one on Travis Kelce where you can pick higher than 0 receiving yards. I think he'll get that on Friday. I'm also adding in a Scorcher multiplier that can make your entry pay out even more if it wins. And there's one for Xavier Worthy, higher than half a rushing or receiving touchdown. He was such a consistent scorer for the Chiefs down the stretch of last season. I think it gets in the end zone Friday night against the Chargers.
It really is that easy on Underdog. Compile your favorite player stats and get your entries right. You could win up to 5,000 times your cash, and you can play with as little as $1. So download the app today and sign up with promo code KTGR to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code KTGR. Millions of fans have already won billions by making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 or older and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
From Branson Landing to the Capitol Dome, Union Station to the Tigers' home. Big old services, Missouri's best. I trust the team outpaces the rest. Show me safe coverage wherever you go. We've got you covered at Big O.
Columbia just got armed. Minutemen Defense is your new destination for guns, ammo, and tactical gear that means business. From holsters and body armor to night vision and magazines, if you need it, they've got it. Plus, the cheapest ammo in town, guaranteed. Located right off I-70 and Rangeline for fast, easy access, locally owned, veteran approved, built for serious shooters. Minutemen Defense. Get there. Visit MinutemenDefenseLLC.com.
It was 9 a.m. on a Monday when the phone rang. Brian Ware Plumbing answered the call. But this caller didn't need plumbing services. They'd had a water disaster.
Hold on, sir. We'll transfer you to our restoration division.
Wait, what? Brian Ware has a restoration division? Then they remembered what they'd heard at the beginning of the phone call. Let's roll it back in slow-mo.
Brian Ware plumbing and restoration.
Yep, Brianware Plumbing now does water and mold restoration. Better call Brian and unplug your plumbing problems, or your restoration ones. You know what? We'll work on it. BrianwarePlumbing.com.
Shangri-La is proud to be a part of every black and gold home game this season at the Zimmer Tiger Tailgate. Swing by our tent to play games, win prizes, and hang out with Missouri's top team of cannabis aficionados. Want to join the fun? Pick up your free Tiger Tailgate tickets at any Shangri-La location. Then come find us on game day. We'll be bringing the energy, the prizes, and the community spirit that makes Tiger football unforgettable. Shangri-La Dispensaries is paradise found. ShangriLaDispensaries.com.
Time is running out for the best full and part-time jobs in Columbia. Miller's Professional Imaging, the largest photography lab organization in the United States, is hiring. If you are energetic and enthusiastic, Miller's Professional Imaging wants you. Miller's offers competitive salaries up to $23 per hour with monthly profit sharing and no experience necessary. Don't wait. Time is running out for the best job in Columbia. To apply, please fill out an application under the employment link at millerslab.com.
Tired of calling Andy and Brenden? So are their wives. Then shoot them a text right now. 573-875-KTGR and become part of the Big Show.
We're back here on the Big Show, KTGR and the KTGR app. Andy Humphrey here as we once again get set for that Mizzou-Kansas game that will renew the rivalry for the first time since 2011, coming up on Saturday. And, a lot of things you could do to lead up to the rivalry. You could, rewatch some of the old games, of course, the big 2007 one. But if you don't have the book on that 2007 game and really the rivalry in general, written by Mark Godich, you can check it out now. Tigers versus Jayhawks, from the Civil War to the battle for number one. It's been out several years, and it is a great read, and we are lucky to have the author of that book joining us here in studio to talk all about it. Of course, you were covering the rivalry for several years here in Columbia, and then you wrote the book about it, of course, and you're back here in Columbia to experience it all. How's it been so far?
It's been great. Drove up from Dallas yesterday, and it's great to be back here, and excited that these teams are playing football again.
It really is. Like, when you first saw that it was going to happen, I think it was a few years ago when they first announced it, how'd you kind of react to that?
Well, I was excited. I mean, I didn't understand why I know why they didn't continue the rivalry, and I was glad to see that they were playing basketball again. And, football's a little trickier with schedules and whatnot, but, they never should have discontinued this rivalry. It's a rivalry a lot of people don't know about if you're not in the middle of it. And it's just a special rivalry.
Take us back to when you were developing this book here, and I know it took several years to cultivate it, manifest it, everything like that. What really was the most enlightening thing that you saw about talking with all the people that were attached to this rivalry, and not even just that specific game, but going back years and years, how this came about for you?
Well, I came up here in July of 2010 to pitch the book to Gary Pinkel. And it was a Thursday morning, and I stopped in Booch's like any good Mizzou alum does for lunch, and I went down to Ellis Library to do some research on the rivalry, and I knew I needed to write the book a couple hours after that, because I stopped at the Starbucks on 9th Street and to grab an iced tea, and someone approached me and asked me what I was doing in Ellis Library. And I said, I told him about my book idea and that I was just trying to get some historical research done. And he said, well, I work in the history department. And he said, I don't have a background in what you're researching. He said, but I know someone in our department who does. His name is Joe Beeline, and he's doing his doctorate on guerrilla warfare during the Civil War. And then he said, would you like his number? And I said, heck yeah. And so anyway, Joe, if the name sounds familiar, Joe's the nephew of John Beeline, who at the time was a basketball coach at Michigan. And when the families would get together, John would talk about how intense the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry was. And Joe would say, no, Uncle John, you don't get it. He said, there's no rivalry like Missouri-Kansas. And it was right then and there that I knew that, I needed to write this book.
It certainly is a great read and one that every Mizzou fan should be reading for sure. Now, as you started to learn more and more about it, with how unique this rivalry is, for folks who maybe haven't read the book yet, they know, of course, about the rivalry, but to put it in context of every other rivalry in college football is hard to do, or really in college sports in general. How do you kind of do it?
Well, it's the only rivalry where, we went from having fathers fight against each other before, during, and or after the Civil War to watching their sons or grandchildren play football in 1891. What other rivalry can you say that about? And not only that, but we played at the first 20 years or so, were played at a neutral site in Kansas City, which was the site of one of the last major battles of the Civil War. So Michigan, Ohio State, special, absolutely. Texas, OU, Auburn, Alabama, you can go down the list, but you can't say anything like that about those other rivalries. And that's what makes this one so unique.
We're speaking with Mark Godich, the author of Tigers versus Jayhawks, from the Civil War to the Battle for Number One. And with it, the book essentially diving deep on specifically the 2007 game, building up to it, of course. You talk about the context leading up to how it came to be such a huge deal that year. Well, first, let me ask, you were there, right?
I was not there.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I was not. I was a college football editor at Sports Illustrated. Okay. So I had to be in New York City bright and early on Sunday morning to get that week's magazine out. But, I followed that season really close. I followed it closely because of my job, and I followed it closely because I had a vested interest.
Absolutely. And so from what you could tell from everyone that was there, how different did that one kind of feel, more so than even just the numbers next to the name, or just how it was kind of building up that week?
Well, the players and coaches I talked to all talked about that drive into the stadium. You come down the hill at Arrowhead there, and there's smoke billowing from tailgates, and there was a mist in the air. It wasn't raining, but it was misting. It was cold, and players and coaches alike told me that the buses just went silent. And Gary Pinkel told me that, he's driven when he was at Washington, drove into the stadium at the Rose Bowl. And, that's quite a scene. He said he'd never seen anything like it. And, Mizzou fans were pounding on the buses, and Kansas fans were flipping the buses off. And how low key Gary is. And Gary, his words to me he said it was unbelievable. It was just unlike anything he had ever seen. So it was, even before they even got in the stadium, I think both teams realized that this was going to be something special.
And how it played out, just the way that it was sort of down to the wire. Both teams had their moments where they thought, oh, hey, maybe we're able to wrestle it. It's almost like the peak of it, with how the teams were battling for that number one spot, but also just how that game, sometimes those types of games don't live up to the hype, but that one did.
It did, and it kind of typified that whole season. The reason we got to that point was there were so many upsets that nobody saw coming. That was the year when Michigan lost to App State in the season opener. It was the first game on the Big Ten Network. A couple weeks later, USC lost as a 39-point favorite at home to Stanford, and those things kept happening. And so, Missouri was not ranked in the top 25 poll. They were right outside the top 25 in the also receiving votes. Kansas didn't even get a vote in the poll. They didn't get one 25th place vote. They were not in the also receiving votes. And that game, for 2.5 quarters, it looked like Mizzou was up 21-0, and then 28-7. It looked like, Missouri's a better team here. And then Kansas flipped a switch, and it kind of typified that whole season. The fact that we had this track meet that broke out at Arrowhead with the largest regular season audience of the season to watch those two teams.
It's pretty incredible. Mark Godich, the author of Tigers versus Jayhawks, here on the big show KTGR, talking about this rivalry that will be renewed on the football field coming up this weekend. From your research, or really just from covering the teams in your experience with this rivalry, notwithstanding in 2007, it's probably the peak of it, but are there any other, semi-peaks that you recall from this rivalry, either football or basketball, that really come to mind for you?
Well, I was a student back in the 70s, and I remember my first 2 years of school, Kansas beat Missouri, and when there was a bowl game on the line, when they didn't hand out bowl bids like it was candy, and the second year was at Faroe. And I remember those Kansas kids dancing around on the field because Kansas was going, I think, to the Sun Bowl and Mizzou was going home. And, of course, Al Onofrio, who was the coach my first 3 years, he got fired because he couldn't beat Kansas. Yeah. Plain and simple. He was 1-6 against Kansas. And he had, after his first season, he had a really good run, but he was 1-6 against Kansas, and that was unacceptable. And it was the same way for Don Fambro over at Kansas. He got hired twice, and he hated Mizzou with a passion, and he understood the rivalry just like Onofrio did. But if you can't beat your bitter rival, then it's going to be tough. And the other thing is, for that made this game special in 2007. For so long, these were average, if not bad, football teams, and so the fact that the rivalry endured through all of that is pretty remarkable. That's not to say the stands were always filled, but that was still a special game. A lot of times it came at the end of the season when both teams were 3-8 or 2-8 or 3-7 or whatever. So that's what stands out to me.
Well, yeah, and it's easier, almost, and maybe not easier, but you focus a little more on that rivalry when you've had a season like you've had like that, when you only have 2 wins, and then that, well, at the end of the year, there's that carrot that's you could potentially steal away to make it feel a little bit better. And so now, fast forward to today. It's not going to feel exactly the same. It's not a conference game anymore. It's not at the end of the season. It's at the very beginning of the season, but you still kind of feel it in the air. How do you kind of, put into context how this week maybe feels compared to the others?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I think the big thing is getting the players to understand it. And it sounds to me like Eli Drinkwitz has done a good job of that. He's brought former coaches in like Andy Hill to talk to the team. They've had a little history lesson here and there, and all it sure seems to me like the students have embraced it from the games that I've been to, and I hear the chants and all that stuff, and Mr. Brightside and everything. Yeah. So I think the students have fully embraced it. I know the alums have. So at the end of the day, you still got to play football. And I heard Eli say the other day that you can't let emotion get in the way. You got to be excited, but you can't let emotion overtake it all. So I think the players understand. I think they've done a good job of educating them on the rivalry. And, but in the end, it comes down to playing football. And just like in 2007, Mizzou played the better football game and Mizzou won the football game. So that's what it's going to come down to in the end. But I think those players are going to realize early on that this is a little different.
How do you think it's going to go?
I think it has the potential to be a good game. I think Kansas got an electric quarterback who can make things happen. I think Missouri's got more talent, and it's going to come down to who executes better and who makes fewer mistakes, which is what that game in 2007 came down to. Mizzou had the best player on the field with Chase Daniel, and the other guy threw 2 interceptions that were both backbreakers, and then Mizzou was just a better game. They played pretty much a perfect game that night. I mean, it put Chase on sent Chase to New York for the Heisman Trophy and ceremony. And So yeah, whoever, it's all going to come down to mistakes and that kind of stuff.
Send Chase some other places too afterwards.
Oh,
the NFL,
absolutely.
the broadcasting, everything like that.
Absolutely.
It's been pretty amazing to see. Again, the book Tigers versus Jayhawks, from the Civil War to the battle for number one. I know it's been out several years, but tell us again about how folks can get it if they haven't been plugged to it already.
It's on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon if you want. I'm on Twitter. At Mark Godich, if you want a signed copy, you can DM me and I'll get you a signed copy in the mail. And it was a joy to write. It became a labor of love, and that was a special team and a special season.
Absolutely, and hope you're enjoying your time back here in Columbia too. I know you get to visit once in a while.
It's great. It's always great to be back.
Absolutely. Again, Mark Godich, the author of Tigers versus Jayhawks. Go get it today, and then hey. Maybe in time for the game on Saturday. Who knows? But great to have him here on the Big Show in studio to talk about the MUKU rivalry here on the Big Show KTGR. Thanks, Mark, for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Andy.
Big Show's on at 444 KTGR and the KTGR app. I mean, it really was great to have him in. And also, like, how nice is that? You just DM him and he'll sign the copy for you. That's pretty nice.
Pretty good stuff right there. Yeah, that's fantastic, and I think you'll even be more excited to dig into something like that after a Mizzou win on Saturday.
Yeah, or you could like prep yourself if you're like a speed reader, get it now, and then you've got a little under 48 hours. Read a whole book by then. It's doable. You did that in high school anyway, right?
Did I read everything I was assigned to have read in high school? Did I do it all at the last minute? What's the statute of limitations on admitting some of that stuff?
You know what? It's funny. Under the Bus is coming up next. Yeah, I've saved you there. Folks, quit freaking out about Red Zone. Quit freaking out. I'll tell you why next.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Lee'sTireCompany.com. Once again, a reminder, and it came from Mizzou Athletics today. Laird Beach speaking to media earlier this afternoon. Instructions for the Mizzou-Kansas game if you are attending to make sure you're getting around the construction in the north end zone properly. You are asked to enter through the gate on which your seats are located, the side of the stadium on which your seats are located. Enter through a gate that is on that side. If you don't, then they won't let you in. Ticket scanners will not allow you into the building if you're entering on the wrong side. So east side people enter on the east, west side on the west. South can enter in either side gate. So be sure to check those gates on when you can enter in for the Mizzou-Kansas game. 2:30 kickoff. The Yuengling Tiger Game Day show begins at 11:30 on Saturday right here on KTGR. Cardinals got a series win yesterday with a 5-1 win over the A's. Off day today. They'll get the Giants tomorrow. Royals trying to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Angels. Still 2.5 back in the AL wildcard race, but need a win to try and avoid a sweep. First pitch for tonight's game at Kauffman Stadium at 6:40. Now your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking increasing clouds tonight with temperatures in the upper 50s to about 60 degrees. Tomorrow is a cool and cloudy day. We'll have light showers throughout much of the day throughout early tomorrow evening. We'll see highs in the mid to upper 60s tomorrow. As skies clear out, tomorrow night will drop down into the upper 40s to around 50. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
Chiefs Kingdom lives here.
This is the Chiefs Kingdom.
Touchdown! Kansas City! Tune in every Monday night at 6 for the Chiefs Kingdom Show, hosted by the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis. Hear from head coach Andy Reid and your favorite Chiefs players all season long. After every game, enter the doors to the Chiefs Kingdom. Monday nights at 6. Powered by Macadoodles, Steve's Pest Control, and your total sports station for all things Chiefs. KTGR.
You know that old driver in the corner of your garage? The one half jammed into an old golf bag that's now serving as a spider hotel? Yeah, somebody wants that driver, you know. Play it against sports. They'll pay you for the gear you're not using. Golf equipment, fitness gear, baseball, softball, and more. Bring it in and cash out, or upgrade to something you need for the upcoming season. Play It Again Sports wants your used equipment. They need it. So don't sit on it, swing on it. Play It Again Sports in Columbia. Think of them first so you don't finish last. PlayItAgainSportsColumbiaMo.com.
There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to football weekends, and that's what makes Yuengling such a great pick. From traditional lager to light lager, flight, golden pilsner, and black and tan, they brew a beer for everyone's taste. Whether you're manning the grill, setting up the tailgate, or just watching with friends, Yuengling's got a flavor that fits the moment. Brewed with nearly 200 years of tradition by the oldest brewery in America, Yuengling. Legends stand the test of time. DG Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Free-for-all RV Road Warriors, your best blast of Branson just turned into a bad day bummer. You ran out of gas, blew a tire, killed your battery, or sitting sideways in a ditch, and managed to lock yourselves out. Ouch. Hey, it could happen. And for the save, you call I-70 Towing. They're Mid-Missouri's go-to crew for roadside assistance, too. Fuel, tires, batteries, locks, winching, you name it. When your world seems to have been wrecked, call the team they hope you never have to meet. I-70towing.com. Now serving Boonville. Winching.
Everyone has their go-to game day outfit. Maybe it's a comfy black and gold hoodie or that old hat you wear because it still hasn't been to a losing game. Hi, this is Sophie Cunningham, and if you really want to stand out on game day, talk to the team at Betts Jewelers in downtown Columbia. Rock your favorite team's colors with a beautifully designed, one-of-a-kind custom piece of jewelry from Betts Jewelers in downtown Columbia, our hometown jeweler. MIZBETZ.
These beautiful moments begin at Betts. Begin at Betts.
From elegant weddings to corporate lunches with flavor by Marriott, Columbia brings the party and the pros. It's the home of Main Event Catering. And with every event, you'll get an award-winning chef, full banquet staff, and drop-and-go options for any size crowd. And the event center holds up 300 guests with 8 flexible rooms. If you need help, there's a Marriott certified wedding coordinator on staff too. Book now by calling 573-443-8000.
Discover, explore, and soak in the views of the incredible landscapes that make up the last frontier, Alaska. Experience the diverse culture and rich history as we cruise the Pacific coast and explore the wilds of Denali, Glacier Bay, and beyond. Join Zimmer Communications and Colette Travel September 9th at 6:30 p.m. at the Courtyard Marriott in Columbia for an informational meeting. Alaska, the last frontier, and it's
platform from Crutch's Custom Exteriors. But as you enjoy the sights and sounds of your Freedom Stream, you can't help but notice it's nothing a little landscaping can't fix. You did let things get out of control down there. It's like a jungle. Keep your Crutch's deck looking its best and biggest with landscaping by Crutch's Custom Exteriors. True beauty is on the outside.
If it's Mizzou sports, it's happening here. Now, back to the big show on KTGR.
It's time to go under the bus on the big show.
People are freaking out because Red Zone is adding what is apparently going to be 4 15-second commercials during the 7.5-hour broadcast on Red Zone.
Yeah, if that's all this really amounts to, Andy, the unveil on this was a PR nightmare because it came out on, I think, McAfee's show that there's going to be commercials on Red Zone this year, and for like a day, people were rioting and they were trying to organize a boycott, and then I think it has since been reported like it's going to be pretty minuscule in scale. And they're not even necessarily taking the game action off the screen. The audio will just be muted for some brief advertisements. Yeah. I think that's fine. Like it is. And the other thing, too, that I'm not sure is fairly being attributed is like people are blaming ESPN for it. Right. Because ESPN is in the process of acquiring, there's some mergers going on. I don't even think all of that is fully finalized for this year. And this was something that has been in the works anyway. So I think there's a lot of misplaced anger over this one, but I get it. We love our 7 hours of uninterrupted commercial-free football. I understand.
Stay away from the witching hour. All ads. Just put them elsewhere.
I will say,
yeah, there's a lot of outrage that does
the,
not need to be had today.
Have you seen like the memes though of they're like, this is what it's gonna be like, and it's like I think the Bears Commanders play that was like the Hail Mary last year, right before the ball gets caught. It's a Burger King commercial that they go Whopper, double Whopper. That it has it's led to some wonderful creativity from content creators, but other than that, I think it's all going to be okay.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be fine.
Under the Bus.
Red Zone will still have Scott Hansen. It will still have everything you like about it. You'll be all right. Also, this was funny. Travis Kelce found the perfect opportunity to get to Patrick Mahomes having a press conference in Brazil before tomorrow's opener. This was just the standard answer from Mahomes to start out.
We've had a plan for this all summer long, and now we're just ready to play football again.
All right, so that was Mahomes, and now here's Travis. That's really good.
That was, to be clear, that was Travis Kelce the second time doing his Mahomes impersonation.
We needed to tell people that because it was pretty good.
If you're watching on the video that I saw on Twitter, then you can see his mouth is moving. But on the radio medium, people go, why did Mahomes talk twice? Shouldn't he let Kelce answer a question? No, he got it. And Pat immediately going, chill out. Like, it's almost like he was anticipating that Kelce was going to do that to him. And then he did it, and instantly he clocked him for it. That was pretty good.
Under the Bus.
Very well done there.
Did Travis Kelce know where Brazil was on a map, though? That part remains unclear.
Yeah, I mean, that's very much up in the air, and neither answer would shock me. Also, Dan Orlovsky's a little too far with this one. Had a claim today on TV that I think we need to share because of how ridiculous it is. Take a listen. I almost have to cut it off there. He somehow
must we do this, Dan? Nobody's making you make those comparisons, Dan. Come on. They got a long way to go. To match as much as I didn't enjoy Belichick Brady. Long way to go.
Hang on. I'll play that first part again, right as he's saying it.
Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are the modern day Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Someone dropped their pen.
Who threw their pen?
We're throwing stuff in the ESPN studio now because of how ridiculous. And the hats being worn on game day for each Mizzou football game. I was kind of like that in college, but as I got older, I got less interested. But I'm interested in this one, obviously from Mizzou, Kansas. And man, they got the helmets right. The Block M needs to live forever on the helmets.
The costumes are elite, folks.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the release from Mizzou on Twitter, they're really good. Block M. Did you see the paw print on the pants?
Oh, yeah.
Big fan of the paw print on the pants. They got them right. And I knew they would. You knew they would get them right for this one. They're gonna pull out all the stops. They've probably been planning this one for months and years. And I'm fired up to see them in action.
So go and check it out. We retweeted it at KTGR Big Show. You can go and see the video they put out there, but they hit it on the nose. And now they just got to take care of business on the football field. We'll see if they can do that. We'll talk next about, the Chiefs opening the season again before this big Mizzou Kansas game. So don't forget about it. It's tomorrow. It's on YouTube. You can also listen to it on KCNQ if you're so inclined tomorrow. Over-unders for Chiefs Chargers as they open up the season. Give us yours, 573-875-KTGR. Leave a comment on our YouTube channel as well to have that be shown up on our YouTube stream. We'll also have Play, Fade, Eliminate. Brendan's ready to help you out with your fantasy football questions. 525 on The Big Show. Hi, everyone. Andy Humphrey here for ProfitShares.com. Football season has ramped up. And if you want to put your predictions to the test, but you want a risk-free way of doing it, check out ProfitShares.com. That's PROPHET shares.com, where you can make predictions on college sports, professional sports, even things outside of the sports world you can make predictions on. So if you like Philly or Dallas tonight, you can make a prediction on that. If you like Kansas City tomorrow, you can put in predictions there too. And again, you're not playing with real money. It's totally free. You're essentially building up some digital credits that if you get enough of them, you can use them to redeem those credits for things like gift cards to your favorite restaurants. You can even make donations to several charitable causes. And hey, even besides all of that, you get a bunch of bragging rights once you get a bunch of things right. You can play against your friends. You can play against people you don't even know and win those contests on ProfitShares.com. Go check it out today and sign up. That's ProfitShares, PROPHET shares.com.
1851 Underground is one of those cool joints the family would enjoy going even if the food wasn't good. But it is good, really good. Famous burgers like the 1851, topped with pulled pork and hickory bacon, or the Fire and Ice chicken sandwich with Cholula honey and pepper jack cheese. The Baja fish tacos with crispy fried cod and avocado cream sauce is another favorite. It's not a secret, but it is underground. 1851 Underground in the historic Brick District in Fulton. Find them on Facebook and Instagram.
Hi, I'm Tristan Colon, Mizzou grad and 6-year NFL veteran.
I'm Charlie Stickland.
And I'm Sarah Stickland McDonald of the Stickland & Stickland Injury Law Firm.
In football, home field advantage can make all the difference.
The same is true when choosing your injury lawyer.
We're locals. We know the courts, we know the towns, we know the people.
Just as I protect my team on the field.
Our family will protect your family.
When sorry just doesn't cut it.
Push back with Stickland & Stickland.
KTGR AM Columbia, KTGR FM Fulton Columbia, K286CL Columbia, in Missouri's total sports station. KTGR Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. This is a big night in Philadelphia. The Eagles will unveil their second Super Bowl championship banner in 8 years and then kick off the 2025 NFL season at home versus the Cowboys. Eagles among the favorites to win another Lombardi trophy. They're a 7.5-point favorite tonight per ESPN bet. Dallas, though, can spoil the night for the defending champs, says our Harry Douglas.
They're going to have to control a lot of scrimmage on offense and defense. I'll start with the offensive side of the ball. You're going to have to run the ball. But then also you're going to have to take advantage, like we mentioned earlier, of whoever's opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. You're going to have to convert third downs. On the defensive side, if you can get the Philadelphia Eagles multiple times, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 plus, you have basically won as a defense. Now you just got to close the deal on third down.
Days before the Raiders' season opener at New England, receiver Amari Cooper has informed the team he intends to retire. Baseball, the Mets calling up right-hander Brenden Sproat to start Sunday against the Reds, along with Nolan McClain and Jonah Tong. Sproat's the third top pitching prospect called up by New York this month to bolster its scuffling starting rotation. Mets currently have the final NL wildcard spot.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, we offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options to cover your small business needs and more. Visit Progressive.com today.
From Faro.
15 to the 10, to the house.
Bush.
Back to the wall, and it's got her.
And Arrowhead.
Touchdown! Kansas City!
To your speakers.
This is the big show, baby.
Get fresh takes on the biggest sports stories in mid-Missouri. Right now, this is The Big Show with Andy and Brenden on KTGR.
Rightfully so, a lot of Mizzou, Kansas talk this week. But we have to talk some Chiefs, too, because they start tomorrow in Brazil. Taking on the chart divisional game in Brazil. It's tomorrow. 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll have over-unders for the game. You can give us yours at 573-875-KTGR. We'll weigh in on them. Brenden will also weigh in on your fantasy football team. You can send in questions to him to get started for your first matchups this weekend in all your leagues. Brenden will help you out at 525. And an interesting change in the college football world that could be fast-tracked and affecting this upcoming off season. So we'll get to that as well at 5:45. Call or text us here at 875-KTGR. But first, it's 5 o'clock.
It's time for the Top 5 at 5 on The Big Show. Number 1.
If you want to trade away for curtain number 1, you can have curtain 1.
The border war is less than 48 hours away. We had our over-unders earlier in the show. I was maybe a little bit surprised that on the Kansas side, Jalen Daniels, their dynamic quarterback, only seeing 29.5 as his rushing yardage line. He definitely can escape the pocket and be dangerous. But frankly, what Mizzou should be looking to do is contain him, force him to throw, and then ultimately force him to make some mistakes. On the Mizzou side, Andy and I both agreed the Tigers need to be able to establish the run in this game. Ahmad Hardy, 65.5 yards. Over-under on the ground. Gosh, I hope it's over. I think Bo Perbula gets there as well. 39.5 was his rushing total. I think if the Tigers can run the football, they're going to be okay in this one.
Number 2.
Number 2, your timing is impeccable.
Andy's right. We do have to talk Chiefs because they get things started for the 2025 season on Friday night in Brazil, taking on the Chargers. The injury report, pretty clean for the most part. Jalen Royals is out for the Chiefs. The rookie wide receiver did not travel due to a knee injury. Omar Norman Lott is questionable with an ankle. And, of course, Rashee Rice suspended for the first 6 games. But everybody else appears to be good to go for the Chiefs tomorrow night in Brazil as they get their season started off with a divisional matchup.
Number 3.
There's Jordan for 3. Yes!
Last night against the Athletics, Cardinals got the series win, and Matthew Liberatore was as good as we've seen him since maybe late June. 5-1, the Cardinals won the game, and Libby was really sharp. 5 1/3, scoreless baseballs, 7 strikeouts, really had the slider working last night. That's a good little nugget for the Cardinals as they head into an offseason where there are going to be some changes with that starting rotation. Liberatore is one of the pieces that they're going to need for 2026, and he does seem to be turning the corner, which is always good to see.
Number 4.
Oh, shanked it.
NFL season kicks off tonight. Cowboys, Eagles. I know basically the entire world is on the Eagles here, favored by 8 to 8.5 points now, but I am having a hard time seeing it any other way than the way the public views this matchup. After the Micah Parsons trade, will we see Dallas rally in spite of their owner or sort of succumb to his ways and insisting that the Parsons trade was designed to make the Cowboys better? I just feel like that's going to be a tough one for the locker room going up against the defending champs tonight. I think it's going to be Eagles big.
Number 5.
What are the 5 fingers? Say to the face. Slap.
And speaking of that Dallas-Philly game on Thursday night, you know what that means. Play, fade, eliminate back on the Big Show. Get your fantasy football questions in for week 1, and we'll turn that pretend football team of yours into a winner at 525.
That's the Big Show's Top 5 at 5. PGR.
Call or text us here at 875-KTGR to weigh in. Okay, I know I ask this every year, but how many leagues?
And I say the same thing every year, don't I, Andy? You expect me to count?
Oh, yeah.
You want the number? Do you count every league? Because like if it's
Do
like
you
a
count
free
every
league,
league?
I know that sounds like an insane question, but you got to understand who you're talking to here. Like if it's a league where someone's like, "Hey, will you join my league for $10?" I'm like, "All right, whatever, sure." I hardly even count that, right? Like that's just not like that's not even really register for me.
Come on.
But if we're counting everything, 1, 2,
Oh boy.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do dynasty leagues count too? 8, 9, 10.
They all count.
I think we might be hovering around a baker's dozen.
That's a lot.
If you're and this does not count. If you are counting though the best ball drafts on Underdog Fantasy, truly I can't even say the number because those are like, yeah, $1 here, $3 there, whatever. It's just that season long. You don't have to play your lineups, so it's like it's hands off at this point. But I have done quite a few drafts over the summer. Would you like to know? Little fantasy football preview. Would you like to know who the players I drafted the most? It's very cool on Underdog Fantasy. They will show you like your exposure to certain players. Can you guess my most drafted player on Underdog this year by the percentage of teams that he is on for my team?
Trying to think of who you've liked the most.
I'll say my top 2 guys are running backs.
One of them is Pacheco.
It's not Pacheco. I kept not getting Pacheco in these drafts and I really wanted to. Number 1, he's on 33% of my teams drafted. Braylon Allen of the Jets. And there was a report out today from Dan Graziano who said the Jets are going to feature a run-heavy offense. And I said, no kidding. With Justin Fields, Breece Hall, and Braylon Allen, you're going to run the ball a bunch since Fields can't really throw.
That's about right.
Braylon Allen and Chase Brown are my two highest rostered players on Underdog this
Although
year.
Elijah Vera Tucker being
best
hurt
ball.
for the year, that kind of stings.
They cannot throw the ball with Justin Fields. It's just he's going to run. They have two good running backs. They're going to run the ball a bunch. And that's probably their best plan. Lean on your defense and run the rock.
Man, who's the second one?
Second was Chase Brown, Illinois product.
Okay.
For the Bengals.
Yeah.
That offense, we love the Bengals for fantasy football because their defense stinks. And
they get a lot of
didn't
chances.
fix their defense.
Yeah.
They didn't fix it
No,
this
they
winter.
didn't.
So
No.
or this summer, I should say. So yeah, I'm excited about Chase Brown, and I have drafted him a bunch.
Makes sense. Call or text us here, 875-KTGR. Play Fade Eliminate is coming your way at 5:25. We already have a couple folks texting in their questions. So
do we?
Text in your, yeah. So we'll get to them coming up here. And you can leave a comment also on our Facebook page. I say Facebook all the time. I'm saying YouTube. YouTube. What is it?
YouTube.com/@KTGR Sports.
That's
I think
right.
if you're going to type that into your URL. So I can segue us from fantasy to Chiefs talk by mentioning a player that won't be playing in the game tomorrow. I ended up with Rashee Rice on just about every fantasy team I'm doing because I have kind of a big head when it comes to like my belief in my fantasy managing abilities. And I say, 6 weeks, that's nothing. I can get through 6 weeks without one of my players.
You want to know something? I don't know which app it was, but one of those apps out there, one of those fantasy apps allowed me to put Rashee Rice on IR.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just might be having that might be a custom league setting or something that
I don't know what it was, but I was able to do. I wasn't expecting to be able to do it, but I tried it. Just see what happens, and it worked. So
don't tell anybody in your league. Maybe they didn't notice.
No.
No, but I just kept going, Rashee Rice,
but
whether it was a snake draft in the 7th round or an auction draft where he's $15, I'm like, Rashee Rice, look at that. You're on my team for the 5th time. It's going to be an interesting first 6 weeks for your boy.
Be very interesting. As far as this game tomorrow, also could be quite interesting. I don't know how the conditions are in Brazil for this game. I don't know how much it'll affect this game. Stadium looks kind of nice. I will say that. There were some pictures that the Chiefs radio network put up of the venue, and they've done a good job with it. And I'm sure it'll make for a nice spectacle as well as you can expect, I think, in Sao Paulo, Brazil. But I think this Chiefs team wants to put a very early stamp on what this season can be. Like, PO'd for months now, especially the number 15. Like, PO'd for months. Every number that Patrick Mahomes has, go over. All of them.
You think?
All of them.
In the first game?
Yeah. All of them.
Oh, boy.
Going ballistic. Chargers got a defense?
From
No.
the first
They don't have a
game?
defense.
Wait a second. The Chargers play some hard-nosed, brand of football. You think, let me give you this just to set the scene. We know it's a neutral site. Chargers give up a home game for this one? Is that
Yeah,
what
they
it
did.
is?
Yeah.
Chargers
are the ones giving up a home game.
Good for them. Chiefs -3. Chargers, the game over under the total 46.5. So decent amount of scoring expected for this game. Mahomes passing props 244.5 on the passing yard.
Through the roof.
You like it over?
Yes. 100%.
I mean, probably, but how confident are we in who he's throwing the ball to without Rashee Rice? Are we just like, it'll be fine, it's good to go?
No, like it,
because
I'm confident in Xavier Worthy. I'm confident in Juju. I'm confident in Travis Kelce. I mean, there could be questions as to Hollywood Brown's going to be healthy. It looks like hasn't been limited in practice this week, so he'll be out there.
You need Hollywood to be in tip-top shape, I think, to be another threat out there. Hollywood, the general public expectations, the sports book expectations are for Hollywood to be more involved than Juju. Hollywood Brown is at 40.5 receiving yards. Juju is at 19.5. I hope it's over for Hollywood Brown. I actually do have a league where I'm starting Hollywood because I have Rice on my bench suspended. I'm just going to start Hollywood until Rice comes back and then drop Hollywood.
That's a good beneficiary of this whole situation, I believe. Yeah, you're right.
And if he's healthy, I would say he can get to the 40.5 receiving yards, especially if you feel very confident in Mahomes to go over. We know Mahomes spreads it around. It might be, I mean, if he goes over that number, it might be a lot of these Chiefs pass catchers getting to their rather modest totals. Worthy, 59.5, Kelsey, 47.5. I think the Worthy one I'm a little skeptical of, but I think I like Kelsey and Brown both.
Yeah, I like the Worthy touchdown one, whatever it might be, to get in the end zone. I would want that. Yards, we'll see, but it's hard to say. I would feel like if Mahomes is getting to his number, then Xavier Worthy's probably getting to his. Like, I think that's your number one receiver. Like, he's got the
highest total. Yeah. He's got the highest receiving yardage total for the Chiefs in this game. But if he goes 55 and Kelsey goes 50 and Marquise Brown goes 50, that gets you to 150, another like 90 to 100 to the ancillary pieces. That could happen and Worthy could fall a little bit short. But he's also a home run hitter. I mean, if we believe that Mahomes is going to let it eat and that they're going to kind of explore this deep passing game once again, when the shot is there, Mahomes maybe takes it compared to first quarter of the Super Bowl, maybe had an opportunity and then sort of checked it down. I think if they're setting the tone with this game, Andy, then it is a case where, it could take one play and Worthy's to the house for 70. And if that happens, good luck to the rest of the league because you got 17 more weeks of these guys. If they can start hot like that, I really do like their potential to just be on a warpath this season. So I'm not disagreeing with you. I would go over Mahomes' passing yardage as well. I just want to respect a little bit of that Chargers defense and say, is this divisional matchup? Sometimes those can be tricky as well. And will they be motivated to shut Mahomes down? Maybe they will be. I don't know if there's a lot they can do about it.
Last year, the games weren't as high scoring between these two.
Yeah.
But I think this year it's different. Like there will be, I like the over on the game in general. 46.5, you said? Yeah, I like that. 24-23 is very gettable. 27-20 is very gettable, I think, for a final score like this. And I'll say defensively for the Chiefs, 1.5 interceptions.
Oh, I don't know if they pick off Herbert twice.
Oh, I think they do.
I would probably. Do you? I'll go under. I mean, they might get him once. Twice is you're starting to really notice that secondary if that's true. And maybe they'll have a great secondary this year. They were a very good defense last year, KC. But I would say under if you're saying 1.5.
It's more on the fact that I'm not a believer in Justin Herbert. I don't think
is that a more popular take by the end of 2025?
Yes.
People are just going to come around and say, maybe he's just fine.
Yes. Everyone's trying to pump him up and say, "Oh yeah, he is the future of this team. He's going to lead them, and eventually things will get going. He just needs the help. He needs help around. Well, he's got the coach now. He's got the run game. He's got the offensive line.
O'Marion Hampton.
Like he's got wide receivers. Like it's
brought Keenan Allen back. You have Ladd McConkey coming into his own. He's got pieces.
Playoff appearances have been flops, man. Like, last year was certainly a flop. He was the victim of that large comeback against the Jaguars when Trevor Lawrence threw 4 picks in the first half and then stormed back and beat that Chargers team. But a lot of that was because Herbert no-showed in the second half. So, like, that's what he's should be known for most. He's not. Everyone's saying, oh, look at the pretty ball that he throws out of the hand. Like, no, stop.
That was a good ball.
That was a very pretty ball. No.
I like Justin Herbert.
I don't. I'm out. I'm out, man. I'm sorry. I'm just out. I don't know what it is.
Justin, let me ask you this. Justin Herbert or Trevor Lawrence, who feels like another guy kind of like that, where he had all this hype and then we haven't really seen it.
Very similar. For that, I'd go Trevor Lawrence. I would.
Interesting.
Same tier, though. Like, we're splitting hairs, I think, with that. But we talk differently about both quarterbacks, for sure.
Right. Man, I want to know about the Chiefs' run defense, which, by the way, I was looking up this stat for Chargers. 209.9 was the average number of passing yards per game they allowed last year. That ranked 7th in the NFL. So I do not believe it's a foregone conclusion that Mahomes goes over. I think Mahomes goes over because of how good of a year he's poised to have. But I didn't feel quite as confident as Andy. I want to know this from you. Omarion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina. They spent a pretty premium pick on him, did the Chargers. His rushing yardage is at 46.5 for tomorrow night. Can the Chiefs stop the run? And Najee Harris, the one-eyed wonder, is also involved here.
Yeah, he's back, isn't he? Yeah, he's been practicing.
He's gonna play despite the fireworks incident he had over the offseason.
Golly.
It's but I think and they have said Hampton's going to be the starter.
Yeah.
But I imagine that Najee will mix in there as well. 46.5 for the lead rusher, potentially on paper, Omarion Hampton against this Chiefs defense that ranked really favorably in run defense last season.
Going under. They stopped some really high-powered backs last year.
They did, and they finished the season 10th. I think they kind of sputtered a little near the end. The stats from the last game count where they didn't play any starters, so that kind of skews it a little bit too.
But like
They did.
That was the one thing they did well in the Super Bowl where everything went wrong.
Yeah.
It was disastrous, but it was
They
not
kinda
because
held Saquon
Saquon
in
Barkley
check.
went ballistic, because he did not
Yeah.
in that game. The Chiefs' run
No, you're right.
defense did exactly what it needed to do. So I actually, I'll say under for Omarion Hampton.
I do too. I'm a little bit pessimistic with the fantasy teams that he's on, just because I think it's going to be a little bit of a slow start because of that Chiefs run defense, and there's going to be a lot of emotion for the Chiefs because they know how it ended last year, and they just want to start off on the right note. I think it's a benefit to the Chiefs, not only that you're playing in Brazil instead of at the Chargers, although that's not really a huge home field advantage anyway for Los Angeles.
Honestly, might be better off the Chargers are with the crowd
they
disparity. Like,
yeah, they might
a lot
be.
of
But I
Chiefs
think
fans in
people,
Chargers.
I assume there have been some people to travel for this game that are excited about this. I don't know how that's international travel, so you got to really kind of mark it on your calendar. But this has been known for a while, so
I think it'll be fairly down, maybe skew Chiefs, because I think more Chiefs fans are more inclined to make these trips because they've kind of been used to taking long trips like this recently. Germany, I mean, cross country stuff, weird times, weird dates of these games.
I mean, their schedule last year was
they
outrageous.
played on
and it feels
every
like
day of the week except for Tuesday. Every single
it's going to be
day.
the same this year. I mean, you're starting on a Friday. You'll have plenty of prime time.
Almost.
You'll have
You want
holidays.
to Wednesday, but I don't know. Eventually, they might put them on a Saturday when they come out with the flexes late in the
For sure.
season.
Are they Thanksgiving and Christmas this year? Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah, which are
confirmed?
both
Okay.
Thursday, so it's a little
Right.
more natural. But yeah, both Thanksgiving and Christmas. Several Monday night games too, to be ready for. And then of course, actually more noon games on Sunday than I thought they would than they would have. It's like
Weird.
5
Why'd
or
they do
6.
that?
That's a lot. Wow.
Let me see here.
Yeah,
You got
go
to wait
ahead
a
and
while
go
though. October the 19th is the first noon start. Yeah. The 23rd is a noon start, the week before Thanksgiving of November, that is. December 14th is a noon start. The 21st of December is a noon. So just 4, though. That's still not very many. You've got more starts with a time that begins with a 7 than you do beginning with a 12. I think there's at least 5 games after 7 p.m., maybe 6, and 4 noon starts. That's crazy to me. But that's the Chiefs. That's the most popular team in the world, and it's only going to get crazier now that those 2 crazy kids are getting hitched. I mean, the NFL had all the reason to show off the Chiefs, and you just give them more ammunition with the Taylor Swift stuff. That's as much as like we talk about it from the sporting perspective. That is kind of real. that you're trying to draw. You realize how many new fans the NFL has legitimately, not even kidding, brought in because of this?
100%.
That is why at first there were people, and maybe there still are some people who would say this was all just a masterful PR stunt behind the scenes. But if it's that by now, they're really playing the long game. So I think everybody's kind of on board with, hey, this is just a serendipitous thing that happened and worlds have collided. But it is very fun, I think, here in mid-Missouri to kind of see the hubbub surrounding that relationship.
Yeah, because look, once you get to the marriage part, it's real. Like
pretty real, guys.
You're putting some legal stuff down on that, like
documentation.
Yeah, and so if it's going that far,
and a prenup that is taller than.
Oh my goodness!
Can you imagine? That's got to be a wild.
I saw
piece
a theory
of
on that, I believe, on the Dan Le Batard show, maybe right after it came out, as to how that could be situated. Like, the suggestion by one of the folks on the show was that Travis should include, like, okay, if this doesn't work out, fine, but you can't write songs about me.
It's pretty funny. It's like, I don't want any money. I
don't want anything else. Just don't write a song about it.
But you know that they're not thinking that way, right? And so that's why that doesn't, like, that would be a weird thing to include, because then you're like, well, why do you think we're not gonna make it?
Right. Yeah.
It's dicey.
I mean, I guess that's the whole reason why you're putting it together, but I don't know.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm just used to marriages where, two people with no money get married when they're 20 years old. That's all I know. So I can't really speak to the whole prenup language.
There was
Apologies.
there was really nothing else to talk about.
Nothing really to do there.
No, yeah. We're coming in with none of the, we'll see how this goes.
Well,
that's great.
Hey,
it's worked out for you so far. Pretty
worked out.
Well done. Well done.
Worked out. Thank you.
It's good. 875 KTGR to call or text us with your takes on Kelsey Swift, whether you think it's going to be televised on NFL Network eventually when it goes down next summer.
Oh, no, under 0.5, because that'll be private. It will not be like a royal wedding.
You don't think so?
No chance.
Okay.
No chance.
All right.
Like none.
Just kind of hoping it would.
No, Taylor Swift doesn't want that. I wouldn't either. This is a bridge too far. There will be a photographer who has signed an NDA, like the art but make it sports account on Twitter where they take prominent photos and they always find like a cool painting that matches it. They were wanting to know the name of the photographer because they always give credit when they do these mashups, and they couldn't get the name because the photographer had signed an NDA taking those engagement photos. And so that was like, okay, we'll make an exception without crediting the photo because nobody's ever going to know who took the photo because of the non-disclosure agreement. It'll be like that for the wedding as well. They'll want some privacy, I reckon.
As much as they can get, which you can understand, but
yeah,
everyone's going to be looking forward to it. Is it going to be on that day when the Cardinals and Royals are taking the off day on Saturday? Who knows? But
no, that's the World Cup game.
It's a World Cup game.
Come on.
875-5847. Over-unders for Chiefs Chargers. Text in yours and we'll weigh in, but also text in your fantasy football questions and Brenden will answer those as you get ready for setting your lineups tonight. You ready to do it? All of a sudden it might sneak up on you. It snuck up on me this week. We'll get to play Fade Eliminate next on The Big Show.
Breaking down the Tigers, Cardinals, Chiefs, and more like no one else. The Big Show continues next on KTGR.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy. You might know nothing about it, but if you ever need it, you'll be thankful that Boone Hospital Wound Healing Center offers it. It increases oxygen delivery to your bloodstream and tissue, accelerating healing and reducing the risk of complications in hard-to-heal wounds. Find out if hyperbaric oxygen therapy is right for you and schedule an appointment. Visit boone.health to learn more.
Real healing starts here. Boone Hospital, Boone Healing Center.
Welcome to Macadoodles. Macadoodles does game day like nobody else. Whether you're tailgating or hosting a watch party, Macadoodles has you covered. With more than 3,200 wine labels, 1,500 spirits, and 600 craft and imported beers, and delivery right to your tailgate or doorstep, the days of making a beer run are over. Macadoodles delivers, providing unmatched selection at unbeatable prices. Drive through today or come inside and experience our world-class customer service. Who does game day like nobody else? Macadoodles does.
This is how you change your fortunes out on the course. Play It Again Sports is doing the ultimate golf gear giveaway, and it's happening right now. From now through September 7th, stop by Play It Again Sports once a day to register for the grand prize. $500 towards Cleveland golf gear. Clubs, accessories, balls, bags, you name it. And this Friday, September 5th, join Cosmo from Y107 from 4 to 6 p.m. for your chance to get in on the action. Sign up once per day at Play It Again Sports. Think of them first so you don't finish last. PlayItAgainSportsColumbiaMo.com.
Discover, explore, and soak in the views of the incredible landscapes that make up the last frontier, Alaska. Experience the diverse culture and rich history as we cruise the Pacific coast and explore the wilds of Denali, Glacier Bay, and beyond. Join Zimmer Communications and Colette Travel September 9th at 6:30 p.m. at the Courtyard Marriott in Columbia for an informational meeting. Alaska, the last frontier, and it's waiting for you. To RSVP and learn more, go to ZimmerCommunications.com.
Pro Designs, but better than a billboard.
Hey, this is Jimmy with Pro Designs, and maybe you've heard, we're the vehicle wrap specialist. But branding your business doesn't stop there. At Pro Designs, we can wrap your walls, windows, even floors.
Go to ProDezigns.com.
Come see them at their locations in Eldon or Columbia off Rangeline Street and I-70.
Pro Designs, but better than a billboard.
Missouri, get ready. The wait is almost over. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers can get $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code KTGR to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's code KTGR in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 and over, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.
Your daily fix of local sports lives here. This is The Big Show on KTGR.
Chiefs Chargers tomorrow, and then Mizzou Kansas Saturday. When's the last time we had a football weekend like that around here? I mean,
I don't know, but I'm buzzing.
That's it.
I got those goosey bumps. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fired up.
A Friday, Saturday like that. That's definitely never happened before.
What time we got tomorrow, by the way?
For Chiefs
Kickoff?
Chargers?
7:20 or something?
7
7
exactly, in fact. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's going to be fun. We have sort of had that as the afterthought a little bit this week. Like, it wouldn't be that way in any other context, and apologies to, Chiefs Kingdom out there, but we are just so, fired up about this border war being back. It's a big deal that the Chiefs are opening in Brazil and they're trying to, get back to their rightful perch atop the NFL.
If the border war were being played time when it should be played in late November, then it can be something
that
else.
actually doesn't bother me. Like, it's just that's a footnote to the fact that at least we're playing the game.
It doesn't matter like when it's being played now that it's back. Like it feels different, but it feels the way that it did around town here, the same way it did in late November whenever Kansas was coming to town and you were ready to play the game.
If I may, and to the other part of this, this hasn't happened since 2006 on Missouri's campus.
No.
Because of the Arrowhead games.
Yep.
So it's actually been even longer. But there's an element of this where it's like everything's still on the table for both teams.
Mm-hmm.
You hear from historians, they talk about, they'd be 3-8 going in, but it would still mean a lot. It's almost like even if both teams end up 6-6, which hopefully doesn't happen to our team, but like right now, it's still all on the table. It's kind of like how I've talked about things every August. I'm always so excited, hyped up, and the sky's the limit. And then you start to play games, and if you slip up here or there, you have to adjust expectations. For this, you can say, this is part of the path to everything still. Whether it is or isn't, it can feel that way going in because it's happening at the beginning of the season rather than the end. That's kind of fun. I think that's an aspect of it that, you don't get 2007, right? But that was like once in a millennium. The two teams line up as the top teams in the country to play that game.
Everything's on the
That's
line
rare.
that game. Like
Right.
literally everything you've got that season relies on winning that game and moving on to keep taking steps towards a national championship. This year, you could argue that there is a little more on the line than maybe a year where in late November, both teams, as you mentioned, and as Mark Godich mentioned when he was on with us, both teams either 4-6 or 3-7, and this is the game that allows you to feel a little bit better about having a mediocre to bad season. Like,
I would say, short of 2007, is this the game, the border war, where there is the most on the line?
It's hard to say, though, because now there's a 12-team playoff. Like, so you can lose this game and still move on. Like, Kansas can lose this game and still win the Big 12 by winning all their conference games. Like, that could happen.
Absolutely.
Still. And
but
Mizzou,
if Missouri loses this game, you don't think they're going to the playoff after that?
No, based on how you project they'll play, based on how they played in this one, you say, you're probably not beating South Carolina or Alabama. It'll be hard to win a road game. I understand the path that could be set forth by Mizzou for losing this game, but it is just one game still. When it comes to that greater picture of the playoff, you can still win games that you're less expected to win after losing a Kansas game by improving your team. So it's like,
but what's the game in border war history besides that one that you say, like,
no, I
even
agree.
Though they all happened at the end.
I agree that this one is so unique in the fact that both teams have the ability to immediately get that proof of concept of what their team could be moving into the rest of the season. And then it gives you confidence for some of your bigger games in conference.
Yeah, I'm looking 1969. They scored 69 points in that win.
Yeah.
And that got you to the Orange Bowl. Right. So like that, without that win, do you make the Orange Bowl? They didn't win the Orange Bowl, but like that's significant at the time. I mean, there's another one in 1960.
Oh, that's the one that's the one that a lot of Mizzou fans are.
But they didn't win.
Upset about. Well, they didn't win.
Right.
They won the game. Kansas played an eligible player.
Right.
Mizzou was on the way to a national championship type season, and that was what got in the way, and the rest is history, as they say. But
the rest is...
There's a lot on the line there for that game. Like, there are exceptions to it, but generally
But
speaking,
I had to go back to 1960 to my point.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because of where it's positioned, there's a case to be made that it doesn't get a lot bigger than this one, this side of 2007. That's a lot. There's fun in that. It's all on the table.
Call or text us, 875-KTGR. All right, let's go. How about I turn on the music?
I believe in you.
Would that be helpful for everybody?
You can do it.
With that?
Yes.
Okay, let's see if I can do it.
It's time to play Fade or Eliminate.
There it is.
That was so hard, man. I really hope you are thankful for that. That took a lot of effort. Gosh, I'm so tired. So tired now.
Do you like wrist workouts to make sure your like button pressing finger is ready?
It's our gig.
All right.
I say.
Do a few more of them though, because you were late by a couple seconds.
No, yeah, we'll get going. We'll play Fade Eliminate here on the Big Show. KTGR. Text in 573-875 KTGR. You can also comment on our YouTube channel and text in fantasy football questions to Brenden. He'll answer them here live on the air. Who gets the first one? Josh does on our texter. First of all, he says, Brenden, you need fantasy football rehab. But full PPR.
if that's a thing, I do need it.
Full PPR. Cortland Sutton, Devontae Adams, Michael Pittman.
And I have to do the thing where I pull up the matchups because it's such an important part of these decisions is who are you facing? I would have drafted Devontae Adams first of those three players for sure. But just checking the matchup. Andy, you can weigh in. How's the Texans' pass defense?
Oh, they have
because
good
that's
defense.
The week one.
Good defense.
It's a week one matchup for Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams, and I think Matt Stafford is going to be ready to go. I really like Devontae Adams this year. It pains me because it might mean some unfortunate things for Cooper Kupp, because the Rams identified Cooper Kupp as a diamond in the rough, and they loved him. I mean, Sean McVay loved him. For them to let him go and bring in another old guy to replace him tells me the Rams think Cooper Kupp is cooked. And so that is not great for what I think for Kupp. I hope he does great, but it's not a great sign that he took a bag of money elsewhere and the team that, thought so much of him let him go, and then still signed a veteran. It's not like they had an in-house answer. They just said, we got to get somebody better than current day Kupp. So I think that they identified Adams, who didn't really fall off, last year. I thought he still looked like himself last year for the most part. So even against that Texans pass defense, I feel like he's kind of my play. But I also don't mind Cortland Sutton hosting the Titans this week. I think that's a game where Bo Nix can get rolling. So he might just be the soft fade. I don't even hate Michael Pittman, but Daniel Jones is not, of these quarterback options, the one that I would probably be leaning into. So he'd be my eliminate to consider for starting out of those three receivers in full PPR. I'm starting Adams, though. I drafted him the highest, and I feel best about him.
All right. David H. says it's Christmas in September, boys.
We're here, baby. We're here.
I said like 5 guys. Like, come on.
He always fudges the rules, David H. does.
He really does. It's play, fade, eliminate. It's 3. Pretty David.
Simple.
Come on. Start 2 wide receivers.
Okay.
Ricky Pearsall. Romo Dunze. He wants you to know that he also has LB3.
Oh, Luther Burden. Okay, I have a lot of Luther Burden.
Stephon Diggs and Cooper Kupp.
So I have a league. It's a super flex league where I inadvertently drafted both quarterbacks that are playing on Monday night this week, which could be really fun, or it can also be a nightmare because it's an NFC North matchup. J.J. McCarthy against Caleb Williams. It just feels like it's going to be like 10-9, and I'm just going to be crying because there are no fantasy points. Like, in theory, if it's 31-30, I had a wonderful night. I'm a little bit worried that that's going to be one of those divisional matchups that does see the defenses rise up. Hopefully I'm wrong about that. But I do really like Roma Dunze, so it'll be hard to sit him. I will go ahead and say the eliminate for me is, as I kind of talked about Cooper Kupp a little bit, I want to see it first with Cooper Kupp. Does he still have the juice? He's catching passes from Sam Darnold, which is not a great thing to be. It worked out for Jefferson and Addison okay last year, but I feel as though Cooper Kupp could be, with these other options, a good sort of wait and see for David H's team. So I'll eliminate Kupp from consideration here. And then I just got to fade one. Pearsall is a tricky one for me because they've got a lot of injuries for the 49ers, but I think with Juwan Jennings getting his bag of cash, Andy, it's not going to be the Pearsall show in the same way that it could have been to begin the season here. The 49ers open up at the Seahawks, so you got that divisional aspect. I'm not anti-Pearsall, but I'll fade him because I think Stephon Diggs is going to be ready to be a go-to target for Drake May and the Patriots. On a new team, kind of some question coming off the ACL, so that is a little bit of a concern. But it's Patriots-Raiders. I feel like Drake May is going to have a good game against the Raiders. The 2 plays for me are going to be Stephon Diggs and a Dunze, who I always do like to play a Monday night guy, so that's why I chose him. It's not great analysis, but it can be very fun.
All right, play, fade, eliminate here on the Big Show, KTGR. Text in your fantasy football questions. Comment on our YouTube channel as well. Jason's play, fade, eliminate for a gauntlet league, 1 flex. What's a gauntlet league? I'm probably answering a very stupid question.
No,
here.
Gauntlet. I don't know about Gauntlet, but I'm guessing it's something to do with, like, maybe if you're the worst team that week, you get eliminated or something. That's a thing where they kind of cut you down.
Okay.
Like, it's not against a head-to-head. It's just everybody in the league, the lowest scoring team that week gets cut, and they all else get to bid on their players after they leave the league. I don't know if that's what he's referencing, but that's my best guess.
All right.
And
Denzel
yes,
Mims.
that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. His options for the flex: Denzel Mims,
not Denzel Mims, Marvin Mims Jr. of the Broncos.
Who's Denzel Mims?
He's a Jet. Used to be a Jet. He's not that old, but he was never relevant. Okay. I think this has got to be Mims Jr. for Denver.
Marvin Mims. Juju Smith-Schuster. Najee Harris. And then a tight end here. Help me out. Taylor.
What's Mason Taylor?
Mason Taylor. That's who I thought it was. I thought that was a kicker, though.
No, Mason Taylor is a rookie tight end that apparently there's a stat out there where Justin Fields really does target the tight end position because he can't throw. And so the guys that are like close to where he's looking are probably going to have the best chance. If Mason Taylor is the top of their depth chart week 1, I kind of want to. I actually do have a league where I auction draft, punted the tight end position, and picked up Mason Taylor after the draft ended. But I think Marvin Mims Jr. is actually the best one here. I would say Mims and Taylor are both plays for me because he mentioned it's a tight end bonus point for his league format. Juju is a fade, and Najee's a fade. Juju's an eliminate just because I'm not. I do look at the sports books, and when they tell me 19.5 passing yard or receiving yards for Juju, that tells me wait and see how involved he will be. Najee, I don't really want a piece of against the Chiefs' run D, so he's another fade for me. Mims or Taylor, I think Mims is the safer play. Mason Taylor, if you want to have some fun, though.
All right. Let's go now to Kelly. 573-875-KTGR. You can call or text him with your fantasy football questions. Kelly says I have to start one veteran running back with a rookie breathing down his neck. Jaylen Warren or Austin Eckler?
Yeah, so I would say Eckler in PPR is going to be the safer bet for volume. Both guys are going to play. I don't really worry about that. So you might also just kind of look at the matchup and say, well, who's Pittsburgh facing? They're facing the Jets. Whatever you think of that defense, it is Jets at home, so that could be maybe a tough environment. I bet that's a low over-under for total points. A lot of times with fantasy football, you do want to look at the game total and see, hey, do people expect points to be scored in this game? Commanders host the Giants, and that is a little bit more of a favorable scoring environment if I had to guess, especially when you're playing it at home. Eckler, like you mentioned, the rookies breathing down the neck. I think Bill Krosky or Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt is the rookie running back where Brian Robinson's not on the Commanders anymore. He's shipped off to the 49ers. But I saw Cliff Kingsbury talking about like the hype surrounding Bill Krosky, as they call him. And it was kind of, I don't know if he's totally over the moon that Bill Krosky's going to play a ton. Chris Rodriguez will run the ball a little bit. I like Eckler for a floor because I think especially in PPR, he can catch the football from Jaden Daniels in a better scoring environment there in that game. Checking now for the over-under 45.5 for that one. Steelers-Jets could be some kind of ugly, but I do like Jaylen Warren as a talent. But the total in that game, Andy, 37.5.
Yeah.
So to break this tie, I would lean toward the game that the sports books think there will be more scoring that happens. That's usually better for fantasy football, and if it's PPR especially, Austin Eckler is probably going to be the most significant running back for the Commanders, at least in week 1, if I had to guess.
Quickly, last one here. Chris also asked about Jaylen Warren. Would you take him over Javonte Williams for Dallas?
Yeah, I would probably say tonight the game is expected to have maybe some more scoring, but I think it's going to be mostly the Eagles doing the scoring. And so Javonte could be okay. I think I lean Warren, but I don't like that matchup against the Jets. So if you feel like your weekend is ruined if Javonte like does nothing tonight, don't play him because you're setting yourself up for that potential. But know that a 37.5 point game total on Jaylen Warren is a little bit iffy as well. I'll play Warren though. I have him in a league and I got no choice. I'm starting him.
Play Fade Eliminate. You can still text in your questions. You can also comment on our YouTube channel, 573-875-KTGR to text in. Up next, this could have an impact on portal season because portal season is shifting over in college football, it seems. Not finalized yet, but it seems to be heading that way. We'll talk about it next.
Now, your local sports center update on your total sports station, KTGR.
Good afternoon. I'm Andy Humphrey. This Sports Center update is with Lee's Tire Company. If it's round and rubber, Lee's sells it. Go to leestirecompany.com. Mizzou Athletics issuing out another reminder today that if you are attending the Mizzou-Kansas game, in order to navigate around the north end zone construction, you are instructed to enter on the side of the stadium on which your tickets seats are located. So if you're on the east side of the stadium, you have to enter through an east side gate. You can't enter on the west side. They will not let you in if you try to enter on the west side if you have a ticket on the east side. South end zone, folks, you can enter in either gate, but you have to enter in on the stadium on which your seats are located if you're on the east or west side. Tigers and Jayhawks, 2:30 kickoff from a sold-out Memorial Stadium, 14th consecutive sellout. Yuengling Tiger Game Day show begins at 11:30 on Saturday right here on KTGR. Cardinals winners yesterday to claim the series against the A's. They won 5-1. Off day today. They'll take on the Giants at home this weekend. Royals looking to avoid a sweep at the hands of the Angels and stay in the wild card race, still 2.5 games back. Noah Cameron gets the start tonight for KC. First pitch, Angels and Royals, set for 6:40 at Kauffman. Now your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast.
I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner. I'm tracking increasing clouds tonight with temperatures in the upper 50s to about 60 degrees. Tomorrow is a cool and cloudy day. We'll have light showers throughout much of the day, throughout early tomorrow evening. We'll see highs in the mid to upper 60s tomorrow. As skies clear out, tomorrow night will drop down into the upper 40s to around 50. I'm ABC 17 Storm Track Chief Meteorologist Jessica Hafner, and that's your ABC 17 Storm Track forecast on your total sports station, KTGR.
Join the biggest party of football season at KTGR's Tiger Tailgate. Download the KTGR app and find a full list of locations where you can pick up your free Tiger Tailgate passes. Then come party with free food and drinks 2.5 hours before each Mizzou kickoff in front of Mizzou Arena. It's our Tiger Tailgate with Dive Bar, Bud Light, High Noon, Sing Sang, Lucky One Lemonade, and Mid-Mo Water Solutions. Find out where you can pick up your free passes on the KTGR app.
Hey, it's Andy and Brenden here with Underdog Fantasy, and if you haven't started playing Underdog yet, I got to say, this is the perfect weekend to start with college football, NFL football, all in full swing after this weekend. So it's time to make some picks and win some money, Brenden.
Oh, that's right, and it all starts on Thursday night with Cowboys-Eagles. I like a silly pick sometimes, and I'm looking at CeeDee Lamb, but not for the reason that you'd think. Higher than 0.5 rushing yards. That's an option on Underdog Fantasy, and I think I want to go with it. He might get a handoff and just needs to gain positive yardage to have it work for my entry, but I also think it's going to be a big night through the air for Dak Prescott, probably not in a winning effort, but against an Eagles secondary that's now without Darius Slay, without C.J. Gardner-Johnson. I'm going to say higher than 248.5 passing yards for Dak, while Jalen Hurts goes higher than a touchdown and a half passing as well.
I want to be looking for that CeeDee Lamb carry now. That's going to be something else if it happens. You can play Underdog right here in Missouri, put together an entry by going higher or lower on certain players' stats, and you could win up to 5,000 times your money if you get all your picks right. Download the Underdog app today and sign up with promo code KTGR to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code KTGR. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog, and you can be next. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code CLEAN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CLEAN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hello there. This is Quentin with JQ's On High in Jefferson City. We are looking for skilled and passionate hospitality team members who can bring both front of house charm and back of house know-how to our unique food service operation. We offer competitive pay plus tips, a fun work environment, and we welcome your creative input on our made from scratch menu. If you are dependable, love great food and great people, apply in person today at JQ's On High and be a part of something special here in Central Missouri.
I'm Nevada Shelkey, Exterior Director of Sales with True Sun Exteriors and Interiors. True Sun Exteriors is your exclusive preferred LP SmartSide contractor. One of the benefits that comes with our preferred contractor status is we are able to provide extended warranties with the Expert Finish product. We love LP siding because it comes in longer lengths. So that means there's less seams on your home. It has a hail warranty on its substrate up to 1 3/4 of an inch. It is an engineered wood product, so it's much easier to work with and install. LP SmartSide has several pre-finished colors available, as well as pre-finished accessories to complete your siding project.
The difference between a house and a home is the attention to detail. At True Sun Exteriors and Interiors, we'll turn your vision of a dream home into a reality. For more information or a free estimate, go to TrueSunExteriors.com.
TrueSunExteriors.com. The best local sports talk around on your ride home. You've got The Big Show on KTGR.
NFL football, it starts tonight. You can keep texting in your fantasy football questions to us. 875-KTGR here on The Big Show with Andy and Brenden. Of course, tomorrow, the Chiefs. Saturday, Mizzou, Kansas. We'll have our official predictions tomorrow.
Speaking of Mizzou, Kansas, did you see this floating around social media today? Justin Britt running around the Kansas football stadium with a Mizzou flag and Mizzou gear.
I did.
What an awesome move. That's so cool.
Did he just go there to just go ahead and flip off the?
I think so. Is he in Kansas City? So maybe wasn't that far of a drive. I don't know, but that's my guess.
Yeah.
And he's literally he's got a big Mizzou flag. He's wearing Mizzou gear, Mizzou hat, Mizzou shirt, and he just runs around. He's got a TikTok about it. That's awesome. That is what this rivalry is about, baby. I love it.
What a week, man. Can't wait. Can't wait for Saturday. Hey, this is interesting. College coaches are really going to like this. Transfer portal window. There's now only one, or at least it's in the works, but this was the major step. And the NCAA FBS Oversight Committee voting today to move to a January transfer window and eliminate the spring window. Says that it will open January 2nd. It'll be open 10 days. Division I Administrative Committee still must approve the legislative changes. Vote is expected to occur before October 1st, so they're going to probably get this done this month, and coaches will be ready for a January transfer window. I think that's a good thing. Very good thing.
And super good. It'll impact what? Will there still be 4 teams left in the CFP, or is it going to be?
Right. Yes.
I think that round of 8 happens around the New Year's window, and so right after that is when they'll have this take place. I think that is fine. It's more than fine. It's good. It's recommended. I'm for it. And as you mentioned, Andy, coaches will be for it as well. It'll take a lot off their minds.
It will be interesting how the discrepancy happens between schools based on when the school year starts for each of them. And I think this is actually a benefit for Mizzou because they don't start that next semester till after MLK Day. And so they have a little more time to maybe wait on guys, whereas other schools, if they're starting maybe that first week of January, then they got to hustle in order to get transfers in. I wonder how that'll help or hurt teams through that process. It's hard to say for now, but I think you did have to do whatever you could. This is a much better solution than trying to get this done during December when you're trying to lock up your high school class. You're trying to get ready for whatever postseason your team has. Like with an expanded playoff, there are more teams that are playing meaningful games in that month. And so it just didn't make sense to have all of that noise and all of that congestion in the schedule, in the calendar, to worry about next year. Because there are teams that need to worry a lot about this year during that month. So this needed to happen.
Yeah, I think that's true. And you think about like Bo Prabula.
Yep.
His journey to Mizzou might have looked a little bit differently if they had this rule last year. Hopefully he still would have ended up here. But like, I just feel bad that he wasn't able to stick out for his present team at the time in Penn State for the playoff. That's all. I mean, I don't want that to happen to future kids unless it gets down to the wire, and it has to, you know?
It was a tough decision he had to make. And look, it worked out for Mizzou's sake for sure. And I think it's worked out for Bo Prabula as well. But that will be an interesting thing to watch. And I like that they are making sure that it happens before this next offseason. Thanks for joining us. Again, a huge thanks to Mark Godich for joining us in studio. You can find that conversation on the KTGR app if you missed it. Predictions tomorrow: Mizzou, Kansas, Chiefs, Chargers. Be sure to join us tomorrow. He's Brenden. I'm Andy. We're done for now.
Before I met these lawyers, I was kind of spinning my wheels. After I met these